Yeah, we can start now, doctor, by the way, so that we can end earlier.
Okay. Okay, got it. Okay. Okay. Assalamualaikum and good evening. I cannot say good night. Good night meaning bye bye. Go to bed. Good evening. Okay, we have 30 that means student we have about 28 here.
Yeah.
Mm, 28. Okay, never mind. Okay, let me share my screen. Share, not share screen. Host disable participant. Okay, I need to. Okay, I need to share my screen. Can you
Okay.
allow? Can you allow that, Dr.
Yes,
Dimas?
yes. Brother Rizky, could you please help me to assign me and Dr. Zarina as the co-host, the admin, Brother Rizky? Brother Rizky, are you still there? Could you please help us to assign us as the co-host? Okay, done. And my account also, Brother Rizky.
Uh, we have
Okay.
our international student Arik. Arik from Makassar.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yes, Arik. Arik, you're from Makassar, right? Oh, he cannot talk. Never mind. From Makassar, Sulawesi. Okay. All right. Okay. I'll share my screen. Then I'll ask you whether you can see it or not. Yeah.
Yes, Lucifer.
Okay. Now, okay, I can share now. Yeah, I think you can see. You can see, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Clear, doctor, please.
Yeah, you can see. All right.
Doctor, before you start, so our topic today will be covering two items, money supply and money demands. So you will be the one that will be presenting about money demand, isn't it?
Okay. I will
Correct? Okay.
presenting money
Yeah.
demand, and then
Okay.
you will continue with money supply.
Yes. Okay, doctor. Please, doctor.
Okay. For this topic, money demand at my university, we cover this topic, which include session question and answer for 6 hours.
Wow.
One lecture 3 hours, and then next week another week 3 hours. So this is for just for money demand only. So I need your cooperation. If because I cannot go very deep discussion because it will be very lengthy, which is we don't have that luxury here. So I'm going to touch important points only so that we cover all. And then if you want more information, you may go later to refer to the textbook and more on lecture notes lah. Yeah? So this is a kind of like to introduce you what is this money demand at this level, intermediate level. Okay. The money demand that we are going to that I'm going to give a lecture today is an extended versions of Keynesian money demand. Yeah? Keynesian money demand. So this is an extended version, or what we call this as Keynesian modern money demand theories. So here in Keynes or in Keynes theory, in standard Keynesian theory, we only have one equation to represent money demand. But today, in the standard version, we have three different equations to represent money demand, which reflect the motive of holding money. So here, let me go briefly. So in this lecture, you are going to see to be able to identify the different functions of money, and then define what is to define money, and also distinguish monetary aggregates M1, M2, M3. Why we need to know these monetary aggregates? Because if you do research and then you refer to the data or statistic, so you will find this monetary aggregate. This is this is also money, but this is more on money supply lah. Yeah, money demand is different. It's we analyze how people demand for money, but okay, just to give a rough idea lah. M1, M2, M3. This is a money definition. Okay, maybe I can skip this. Let Dr. Dimas talk more on this money supply, M1, M2, M3. I'll go to here, explain modern theories of money demand. Okay, and then 4 is to introduce you to the portfolio diversification, which involve trade-off between risk and expected return. That related to holding money. Okay, all right. Okay. So money, people demand for money. Why is this? I'm not so sure why the font changed, but never mind. You still can understand this. So the money demand, people demand for money for its function, medium of exchange, unit of account, store of value, and then standard of deferred payment. Okay, this is a very standard functions of money. And then what you have learned before in your year 1, you understand that you were introduced to classical money demand. That is, people demand money proportional to their nominal income, PY. There is no role of interest rate here. No role of interest rate, only income, nominal income. And then in Keynes money demand, we were introduced to Keynes money demand to this equation, CO plus C1Y minus CR2. This is money demand in one equation that represent all the functions of or motive of holding money for transaction, precautionary, and speculation. For precautionary and transaction, this is represented by C1Y, where it depends on income. Higher income, the more people hold money for transaction and precautionary. Whereas for speculation here, it relates negatively to interest rate because with high interest rate, people demand less money. People holding less money, they don't want to hold more money. They want to buy, they want to keep bonds. They hold less money, they use money but to buy bonds, so they hold more bonds because of interest rate is very high, so they get high interest income here. In monetarist view that you learned before, monetarists try to extend classical model. They try to improve classical model by incorporating the role of interest rate. So that's why we have here similar. If you look at classical and monetarist equation, almost similar, except that in monetarist we can see interest rate here, and interest rate is more here compared to Keynes. We have interest rate on bond, interest rate on equities, interest rate on durable goods. Yeah, so we have more role of interest rate. But today, what we're going to see is Keynes, the extensions of Keynes money demand equation. Yeah? All right. So here, all right. So let me go to Keynes. So in this Keynes money demand theory, what we can see here, we have earlier, we know that the functions of money demand is people hold money is for medium of exchange, and then money, people functions of money, For transaction, precautionary, this is motive of holding money, and then speculation. So for transaction, money demand for transaction, the theory that we are going to discuss here is the inventory theoretic approach. People hold money as an inventory. Yeah, inventory. Meaning, inventory is something that you hold, which you use later, not for immediate use, but you use later the money. So here, what we can see, the holding of money as an inventory is affected by interest rate negatively. So earlier in classical theory, in Keynes theory, in monetarist theory, when people demand for money for transaction, the only variable affecting this money demand for transaction is only income. High income, the more people hold money for transaction, to buy goods. But here in this theory, the inventory theoretic approach, the holding of money for transaction is not only affecting by income alone, but it is also affected by interest rate. Interest rate. Why? Because the more you hold money, it has an opportunity cost. When interest rate is high, the opportunity cost of holding money for transaction is very high. When interest rate is high, opportunity cost of holding money is very high. So because of that, now you must decide how much to hold money. How much to hold money. So meaning here in this theory, it also is also asking you how many times you want to go to the bank, to frequent bank, to withdraw your money. So this will tell you how much you want to hold money. If you want to hold much money in hands, meaning you go to bank less. You frequent less to the bank because you already hold much money, so you don't need to go more to the banks to withdraw money. But if you choose to hold little money in hands because you want to keep more money at banks because you want to get high interest rate, so meaning you have to go to the bank more times to withdraw money for your transaction use. All right. So here, here. All right. So in this case, there are assumptions for this theory. It is assumed that individual will spend their money evenly over the months, and then this money, the salary or wages, that the income that people receive can be paid in the form of deposit account or bonds. It works the same manner, bonds. Because of that, either deposit accounts or bonds can be used in this analysis, and people manage this money in two forms. First is by holding all income in cash, in hands, holding all in cash, and then spend evenly over the months. And then the other option is to hold only a portions of money, and only hold some money, and then the rest keep it in the bank, spend evenly. When finished, go to the bank again, withdraw. When finished, go again to the bank, withdraw. So how many times? So then it depends on the number that individual choose to hold, to do. So here, this is the diagram to show the option that people choose to withdraw their money. The first graph, if you look at my cursor, is referring to go to the bank once. That means go to the bank once, withdraw all the money, and then spend evenly over the month, 1 month, over the month, and finish it. Whereas the second graph referring to the withdraws half of the money or income, and then another half keep it in the bank for it, to get the interest income. And then when this half of the money finish in the middle of the month, then go again to the bank and withdraw all. The third option is to choose to go to the bank 3 times. So here, how many times? So we give this as small n. N. So n can be 3, 4, 5, 6. It depends. So the more you choose n, meaning the more you get interest income. So here, n. How many you want to choose? 1, 2, 3, or 4? So it depends on your choice. So here, we then calculate this money in this investment maturity approach. You need to know how much interest income you gain from keeping money in the bank and holding money in hands. So you have to calculate using this equation. Yeah, this equation. This is PR, profit, net profit. So so n is the number that you choose to frequent bank. So for an exercise here, just take note. Let's choose. You can choose 4, or it's up to you. Maybe you can start by choose 4, or you can choose 2, or you can choose 6. It depends. So then interest rate. So I will give you a number how you can calculate this, and then income. B is brokerage fee. This is include. You can give some numbers here. The amount of money. This involve transaction cost, time spent, transportation, or whatever that you can measure in money. Okay, here.
And then
So maybe here income, put it this one too low. Maybe you can put it 3,000. 3,000 ringgit Malaysia, or I not in rupiah. I'm not so sure how much will be appropriate for Malaysia. For Malaysia, 3,000 will be reasonable. Yeah, for Indonesia, not so sure. Dr. Dimas, for Indonesia, how much, Dr. Dimas? Okay, never mind. And then you maybe you can figure out on your own, yeah. But maybe you can also use this or as
What
you as
doctors? What the rupiah doctors?
rupiah. In rupiah, how much? If 3,000 here.
Rupiah right now 15,000 rupiah against
Rupiah,
1 USD.
rupiah is
15,000.
50, 50.
15, 15.
15,000.
Yeah. 15,000 rupiah,
Yeah.
doctor, per dollars.
Yeah, this is 15,000, yeah? 15,000. Okay. All right. In rupiah will be 15,000. So you calculate for your exercise later. Okay, so here, okay, just ignore this. So, okay, so here, this one will so for this theory, you work out with this exercise. So now I would like to go here. This is also an exercise for this topic. So here, in periods of high inflation, people are not likely to hold much money. Yeah? Yes, when inflation is very high, people are unlikely to hold much money. Why? Because the fear of a loss in the purchasing power of their real money balances. Okay, and then an increase in inflation also will increase the nominal interest rate. Yeah, that is the opportunity cost of holding money. And this will reduce the money demand. Why? Why? This is my question. Why? That's why I have question mark here. This one maybe we can read later. This one, why? And then also another thing is during deflation, the cost of holding cash money is decreases and people will try to carry less cash in hands. Okay, that is the question related to this. Maybe I can copy this to the chat. Where is the chat so that you all can refer this? Why I cannot get chat? Show chat.
You need to maybe make it bigger, doctors. Make it full.
Bigger?
Yeah.
What bigger?
Set the slide in the flat show, perhaps.
This one?
Yeah. This is a PPT or PDF?
I'm not so sure. But if I type chat, normally, okay, now I got it now. Okay, thank you. Okay, I already posted the question on chat. And then also this one, so that because they cannot refer to my slide. So, but then they can always refer to this to what? One moment. It hang here. From my side, it hang. Let me check. Okay. So here, chat. Where is chat? Okay, chat. Okay. Okay, chat. And then, okay, if they want to calculate, they need to know this. They need to have this equation. Yeah? Interesting. Okay, now they have it. Yeah. Okay. Now I want to go to, okay, we already finished this money demand for transaction. I want to move to another theory here, which is money demand for precautionary. All right, precautionary. So it needs a different explanation for this. Okay, so we are done for this. Let me go to another slide. So this will be this slide, yeah, precautionary. Money demand for precautionary. So, and this is speculative. Yeah? So money demand precautionary. In this, okay, what we see here in money demand for precautionary also, interest rate is one of the variable that affecting money holding. Money holding for the purpose of precautionary, meaning for spending in the future for uncertain, unexpected event, yeah, unexpected spending. Like you wouldn't know, you wouldn't tell what are the spending will be, but suddenly it needs you to have a large amount of money to do the spending. Yeah? So here, earlier money demand for transaction ignore uncertainty. Yeah? Uncertainty. But then my transaction money demand ignore uncertainty, but in this money holding for precautionary takes into account uncertainty element. So this with this uncertainty element, people, how much money people need to hold. So it will be also affected by income and interest rate. Yeah, income and interest rate. So here, if holding much money in hands, it's also involve high opportunity cost when interest rate is very high. Why? Because if they put this money in banks, they can earn more money from the interest income. But then there will be some problem, yeah, because when they need the money, it will be a problem for them to get the money if they want it immediately, because it will be less liquid if you put in the bank. Yeah? So here, how much money to hold? So here you must decide. Yeah? So there is another equation here. So what we are going to see here, we need to calculate cost of holding this money for precautionary. It involved with cost. Earlier, it involved with calculating net net profit. Now cost. Yeah? So cost that involved here is expected cost, because all involved with uncertainty. So we have to deal with expected cost. So this is because the need for money is uncertain. We do not know. We do not know when we are going to spend the money. So it involves with probability function with illiquidity. Yeah. Illiquidity here is illiquidity with respect to money and with respect to uncertainty. Delta is uncertainty. Yeah. So here, if we put it in an equation, then we Q is the cost of being illiquid. Yeah. So we have Q, and then the total expected cost here is IM. This is interest foregone. Yeah. Interest foregone, and this is another part here. Look at my cursor. This is illiquidity cost. Yeah? Illiquidity cost. This one. So the other one is cost of interest. Yeah, foregone. So this is the equation which involve with money holding for precautionary. Okay. So I have no question for you for this. Let's go to speculation, money demand for speculation. So for money demand for speculation, this one, it has more explanation. In this, this theory was developed by James Tobin. So here, James Tobin explained that and people when people hold money as a safe asset, even interest rate is high, yeah, people still hold money. If you look at Keynes' explanation, when interest rate is very high, people hold all their asset in the form of bonds when interest, because we define here wealth is defined as comprises two. Wealth comprises of bonds and money. Yeah, only this is how Keynes explained. So James Tobin, using the same explanation, wealth equal to bonds and money, similar explanation, but then he explained differently that when interest rate is very high, people buy bonds, buy more bonds, but at the same time, people still hold money, some money. Why? To minimize risk. To minimize risk, I explain why. Why risk? But for Keynes, no. When interest rate is very high, people change all their assets into holding bonds. No money, zero money, all into bonds. When interest rate falls, people keep all their wealth asset in the forms of money. This is how James Tobin is different from Keynes. Yeah? That's why James Tobin explained that holding money, money demand for speculation is involve risk. Yeah? This is because James Tobin explained that changes in interest rate is uncertain, whereas Keynes explained that changes in interest rate is certain. If interest rate is high now, Keynes, when interest rate is high now, in the future interest rate falls, very certain falls. Yeah? Whereas if interest rate is low now, in the future interest rate is rising, yeah, high. Okay, this is very certain. But then for James Tobin, no, there is uncertainty here. If interest rate is high now, it is not certain that in the future interest rate is fall. Interest rate can still be higher in the future. Because of that, there is uncertainty of holding bonds. Yeah? Okay. Any question you want to ask before I proceed further? No? All right. So if no, let me show you here the graph. Yeah. Okay, here. So because of that, let's look at here. So for this explanation, there is no equation here. What we have here is only a graph. So here, a graph for investor that buy bonds, that buy bonds and holding money. So C is this is a interest rate line. We assume this is initial interest rate line, and utility, U is utilities. So investor, individual who holds bond, they want to maximize their utility, which is subject to this risk. Yeah? Okay. So equilibrium is at E, where R is the expected return, delta is expected E. So now let's assume an increase in the interest rate. So an increase the interest rate, so we'll move higher C. So I don't have the line here, but you can see my cursor, it increased higher here. So it will tangent touch U3 at higher expected return, and also at higher uncertainty if you can draw a line here. Yeah, you look at my cursor, higher uncertainty. If you drag this line down, so what you can see here, the bottom graph is measuring bond holding and money holding between the wealth that people hold. So here at higher interest rate, what we can see here, people will hold more bonds and less money. Why more bonds? Because the more you move from, the more you move down from this zero point. So it measures that the more you hold bonds, but still you have money here. This difference is money. So you will have your bond somewhere here, and still you have money here. This is to explain that. So holding money is a behavior of people to minimize risk. Yeah, to minimize risk here. So here, to conclude for this theory, Keynes' theory explained that individual holds either money or bonds, either one. Yeah? Whereas for James Tobin, people hold both money and bonds together. This is because Keynes explained that changes in interest rate is very slow. Finally, we'll come back to the nominal level. So individual will hold all their wealth in the form of bond when interest rate is high, and then we'll hold all wealth in cash when interest rate is low. All right. So, but in real situation, James Tobin explained that people hold both in their wealth portfolio, both asset and in their portfolio asset, money and bonds at the same time. Okay. Any other question? Okay. I have all the slide explained to you. I have delivered all the slide. I have no other further slide to explain. Any other question to ask? Or you want to ask later? Or maybe we can go with Dr. Dimas or
There's
not
one
so?
question, doctors. There's one question from Brother Al-Faisi.
Let me see.
One student raise hand.
Okay, let me see. Chat. Is it in the chat?
No, raising hand. So he want to asking you directly.
Okay, can ask now?
Brother Faiz, can you
Maybe-
please direct your question to Dr. Zarina?
Maybe you can unmute them.
Yes, Brother Faiz, you can proceed by asking directly to Dr. Zarina, please.
Al-Baizi is raising hand. Papu Tunggan, is it?
Yes, but he has put his question in the chat box, doctor.
Okay, let me see. Where is the question?
Chat box.
Oh, very long here. Okay. But what is? I want to ask about the options of holding the money. Which one is better? To keep most of the money in the bank to gain the interest, or to take most of it so that you don't lose? But after the explanation to the precautionary, the answer can actually depend on the question of that time. Now another question come up to me. How can we keep up the information so that we can know when to or when not to withdraw money? Okay. People how to say this? How much money to hold will be different for people. It depends how much you decide. So, okay. This question has to do with my question. Okay. If you want to, in this theory, it educated us. It educated us that to be smart with money. To be smart with money. Make money works more. Meaning, you have your money to spend for buying goods and also for precautionary also. And also, okay, speculation. Okay, never mind. So here, if you hold much money in hands, there is a risk here, meaning you may lose some income that you in the form of interest forgone. So we say this, holding much money in hands, it involves high opportunity cost when interest rate is high. So meaning when interest rate is very high or high, you should keep money in banks. Hold less money. Hold less money, keep in bank so that you can get interest income. And today, this theory was developed very long time ago. Today, now to withdraw money is much easier. Like myself, I keep much money in bank. So because we have now internet banking, for this theory, it did not mention about this internet banking. The only way to withdraw money is to go to the bank. You queue, you go by transportation to withdraw money. But today is very easy. One touch only. One touch, one button, then transaction done. So from my point of view, it's good to keep money in banks when interest rate is high and then hold less money in hands. So this optimize money holding. Okay. Actually, I have other question to ask, but never mind. I reserve that. Is it okay? Who was asking just now?
Al-Faizi, doctor.
Al-Faizi. Is it okay, Al-Faizi? Yeah. Faiz Ajhar. Oh, this one different.
Different.
Fahid Ajra, I would like to ask Keynesian money inventory. People hold money for 3 reasons. Okay. However, in practice, we often observe people hold money that do not seem to be related to this. Okay. So my question, how can Keynesian money inventory be harmonized with this empirical observation? Okay. For empirical observation, you need to refer to empirical papers. Yeah. But from my past reading about these empirical papers, they are more likely towards this James Tobin analysis theory rather than Keynes theory. Yeah. So yes, people have other motive keeping money in banks. Sometimes for safety reason, but on average, the motive that people keep money is explained by James Tobin's theory, yeah, by this modern money demand theory in general, on average. Yeah? Okay, all right. Okay. If we have more time, we talk more about this. Let's go to Dr. Dimas. What do you think, Dr. Dimas?
Yes, doctors. Maybe I just need 15 minutes, doctors, to share my thoughts
Okay, never
referring to the
mind.
money supply.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. So if you have no question, I'm okay. I will take that question later. It's okay for me. Okay.
Okay, doctors. Thank you, doctor, for your enlightening presentation. So I just want to take my time, maybe in 15 minutes, just to complete what Dr. Zarina just now mentioned and explained. Yeah, because money supply here much more easy, perhaps, compared to the money demands, perhaps. Okay, let me share my slide, doctors, for the money supply. Okay, so today I would like to share with you the money supply. And this money supply basically related with the function of the central banks. Yeah. And many central banks in the world right now trying to control the money supply, particularly in the mid of financial turbulence or financial crisis. Somehow the money supply become troubles, yeah, become the source of troubles. And now the topic that we are going to discuss is the money supply here, how the banking system creates money. And the 3 ways of the Fed or the central bank can control the money supply, and why the Fed somehow very difficult to control it precisely. Yeah, so the theories of money demand has been explained by Dr. Zarina just now, portfolio theories, transaction theories, yeah. And now we come to the money supply. Dear student and also Dr. Zarina, so we know that the money supply actually related to the banking system. If we learn in the introductory to economics, we are given to understand that there are two kind of money. The central bank money, coins, yeah, and also the paper money. And second one is money created by the commercial banks. Yeah, but this true money actually can create any money supply in the economy. Therefore, in context of the bank rule here, money supply somehow is equated by currency plus deposit. So currency here refers to what you are holding, that mentioned by Dr. Zarina in the beginning, how much money that you are holding to have transaction or speculative and others. And the D here refers to the deposit. Deposit here somehow is the account that put by commercial banks or maybe customers in the central banks. So those are altogether will create the money supply. And since the money supply includes demand deposit, the banking system plays an important role. So the banking system here, they can create the money through the interest rate, and also uh, accompanied by the reserve requirement somehow, and also the fiat money. So these three items, fiat money, reserve requirements, and also the interest rate are part and parcel that can create the new money supply in the economy. And if we talk about the money supply here, we refer to the reserve. So the reserve here can be divided into two kinds of reserve. The first is the compulsory reserve, the mandatory reserve. And the portion of the mandatory reserve here depends on the central bank policy. The lower reserve, the higher money supply created. And the higher reserve requirement by central bank, the lower money supply created. So this is the depends on the condition in the economy. And the second one is the excess reserve. So the excess reserve here is the voluntary reserve that would like to hold by certain commercial banks in the central banks. Because you see, in the context of reserve here, somehow it can be withdrawn by the central bank, by the commercial banks for the liquidity needs. In the mid of crisis or financial turbulence, the commercial bank can take their reserve in order to mitigate some systemic risk somehow. So the next one here is the 100 reserve requirement, a system in which bank hold or deposit as reserve. I don't believe that the commercial bank here will put all the deposit as reserve, because they cannot create money through the loans if 100%. And the fractional reserve banking here by system in which the bank hold a fraction of their deposit as reserve. It also depends on the central bank policy. If the central bank would like to promote the supply of money, somehow the fractional reserve banking will be lower. If the central bank would like to reduce the money supply, somehow the central bank will increase the number of the fraction of fractional reserve banking. So it depends on the conditions. So let me see here the scenario. The scenario here, we have scenario one, there is no banks, we do assume. So if there is no banks, then there is no deposit. So the money supply actually exactly equal with the currency in circulation. For example, $1,000. And the scenario two here, for example, the bank applies 100% reserve requirements. So initially, the currency 1,000, and the deposit here 0, yeah, and the M here 1,000. Now suppose household deposit 1,000 at the first bank. So after the deposit here, so the currency here will be 0, because you put all your money in the form of deposit, and the money here in circulation means C plus D 1,000. So 100% reserve banking has no impact on size of money supply, because the bank cannot create the loans. And the second one here, the third one, another conditions. Suppose that the banks okay, suppose the bank here hold 20% of deposit in reserve. So it does mean that the bank can make loan with the rest, namely 800 in loans. Okay, so example here again. So the money supply now equal to 1,800. Example here, reserve 200, because you have 1,000. The loan can be created is 800, and the deposit here is 1,000. So the depositor still has 1,000 in a demand deposit, but now the borrowers hold 800 in currency. So it does mean that the first bank can create another money by lending out $800 because the fractional reserve banking only 20%. So it does mean that in the money right now, in money in circulations is 1,000 plus 800. Yeah, because 1,000 here is the currency initially, and then the 800 is the loan. And the next one, thus is in the fractional reserve banking system, bank creates money. Yeah, bank create money through the fractional reserve banking. The less reserve requirement, the more money that can be created. Yeah, look like here, you can see that 108,000. And next one is suppose again the borrowers deposit 800 in second banks. Yeah, so the first bank give you out 800. Yeah, and the 800 here is put back to the banks, yeah, deposited back to the bank, and then assume that the reserve requirement 20%. So it does mean that 80% of that second bank loan will be loaned out. It does mean that the loan 640. So it can be again and again, sisters and brothers, yeah, given that the fractional banking is there. So given that again and again, you can see that in the end of the day here, we have here in original deposit is 1,000, for example. And then the first bank lending 800 plus second bank lending 600, more or less. Third bank, other lending. It depends on how many times the bank lending out and give it back as the deposit. As the Dr. Zarina just mentioned about the how much the multiplier, how much the velocity, yeah, to what extent how many times the money has been moving in and out, yeah, in the financial system. So by that we can just put the simple formula. So 1 over RR here times 1,000. So here the RR 0.2. So the M here maximal can create $5,000. So when I was taking my PhD in Malaysia, IIM at the moment, my professors at the moment asking me, so what is justification of this 5,000? Is this 5,000 is indeed the real money that created in the economy, or it is because of any compounded money, the compounded interest that created from the banks? So therefore, if you don't take it carefully, so this money can create any bubbles because there is no any real sectors that may be balanced with this $5,000. So in some papers, in some literatures, some scholars suggested that the RR here, the reserve requirement, is suggested to be close to 100%, because it can reduce the potential banks to create more money and create instability. But again, just Dr. Zarina mentioned, it is trade-off. Yeah, if the bank puts so too high, then the stability is there, but the bank will not get any income. And the way around, if the bank put less, so the bank can create money, but the stability is in danger. So maybe in my understanding, perhaps we need to look for or empirically exercise what is the optimal position of the RR. It does mean that how much the RR that can maintain the stability, at the same time also can keep the bank resilient or can keep the banks in the optimal balance. So maybe it is empirical research then. And then the next one is the money creation in the banking system. A fractional reserve banking system creates money, but it does not create wealth. Bank loan give borrowers some new money and an equal amount of new debt. So it does mean that the new money creations is new debts in the same time. So that the another question is whether is this new debts is followed by the new productions in the real sectors. If there is no any balance in the real sectors, then it will create any bubbles, or in the context of business cycles, maybe it will create any boom and bust cycles or procyclicality behavior. So in the context of money supply, again here, we have exogenous variables. Yeah. So here is some indicators, if I may say, how to exercise the behavior of reserve requirements in the context of money supply. We can see from these indicators. The monetary base here is the currency and reserve controlled by central banks. And the second one is reserve deposit ratio. So the reserve that based on the certain demand deposit. Yeah. So the more demand deposit, to what extent the bank can put the reserve requirements. It does mean that the more reserve requirement, it means that the more credit created, yeah, and the bank then need more deposit. Yeah. So the more deposit the bank needs, and the bank will decrease the reserve requirement in order to create more money supply. So again, it depends on regulation and bank policies. And the next one is currency deposit ratio. It depends on the household preference. So the currency, the C has currency of a deposit. So to what extent the household here prefer to hold cash compared to the putting the money in the banking account. So in case that you and me as a household prefers to hold more cash, it does mean that the bank will have less ability to create money because less deposit will be in the banks. Yeah. So again, these three exogenous variables is the criteria how to calculate how much the money supply that preferable in the economy. And the next one here, just a few slides left. Here's solving the money supply. Here, I just go to the money multiplier here by looking at the money supply calculation here. Very simple money calculation. So you see that the money supply here basically is the money multiplier times monetary base. So monetary base here is the currency and demand deposit times the multiplier. What is the multiplier? Multiplier here is the process through which initial injection of money into banking system leads to multiple expansion of the money supply. So if you have 1 rupiah, it will be multiplied to more than 1, depend on the how much the multiple expansion that you want to create. Therefore, if you would like to create more in terms of money multiplier, if RR here less than 1, reserve requirement less than 1, then the money supply, the multiplier will be more than 1. It does mean that if you would like to be having more money supply, you need to have less reserve requirements. So the less reserve requirement close to 0, it will create more money multiplier in the economy. So therefore, if monetary base changes by delta B, then delta M also will be different. So it does mean that the money changes in the economy depend on how much the money multiplier happening times how much the currency and deposit also changing in the economy. And the next one here, almost finished, is the exercise. Just to see that, suppose that household here decide to hold more of their money as currency and less in the form of demand deposit. So in this context, the household has more currency and less deposit. So what the impact on the money supply? So in my humble understanding, without looking at the answer here, because of the money, the household here put more currency as the currency in circulations, it does mean that the bank will have less ability to create more money through reserve requirements. So in the context of money supply, in general, it will make the money supply falls. Yeah. So in other words, if you would like to make your money in circulation decrease, you have to ensure that your currency in circulation much more compared to what you put in the banks. Maybe if you context, if your question more is why currency must be more or the banking, the deposit must be less. It depends on the condition. In the context of business cycle, booming in business cycles, maybe the currency in circulation much more maybe benefited because at the moment the economy is growing well. Yeah, but maybe in the mid of crisis, maybe the currency maybe not quite important at the moment because the less capacity to purchase goods and services. So maybe the people maybe interested to put in the banks because the bank somehow provide more interest rate. So it depends on the conditions, sisters and brothers. Yeah. And the next one here, the instruments. I guess this is the last slide. So if we understand the monetary policy, the monetary policy somehow is the policy how to maybe influence how much the money supply should be in the economy. And by this context, there are three different instruments that commonly used by the central banks: open market operation, reserve requirement, and discount rates. So these three instruments, yeah, somehow used depend on what the condition of the economy. For example, here open market operation here depend on the government bonds. Yeah. So in case the central bank has government bonds, so they want to improve the economy, then they have to maybe purchase more government bonds so that the money supply will be there. Yeah. So again, these three instruments just avenue how to improve or increase or decrease the money supply in the economy. But importantly, according to my understanding, this instrument only instruments. The ultimate goals actually is how the economy actually reach the optimal position. In other words, economy reach the full employment of capacity. In other macroeconomics books, in the context of business cycle, somehow they are called on great moderation or steady growth. Yeah. So as long as the steady growth has been reached, so how much money supply needed in order to maintain that steady growth. So this is just the way how the economy can be influenced by supply of money. I guess that's all from my side, doctors. Maybe I just take 15 to 20 minutes. Maybe we can get some views from the students, or perhaps Dr. Zarina also has some views or some additional information regarding on what we had just presented, or maybe a student here has experience before. You are most welcome. Please. Thank you, Dr. Zarina.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Dimas. Let's see whether we have question from others. I can see now more of my student is joining the class now.
I think here one student, doctors, put another questions in the chat box. Brother Al-Faizi. Al-Faizi here put another questions. Oh no, sorry, you answer. Sorry, you answer that question. Yeah. Okay, students, you have any question or if you have any feedbacks, or maybe you have any some
Terry, you have okay, my student, Terry Jantian, you have any question on money supply? Jantian, you can ask. Jian Jian is our student rep. Anyone?
Doctors, perhaps meanwhile waiting for
Okay.
other students, I just want to get your views, doctors, about the current policy called modern monetary policy. I think this is the new concept raised by the central banks, the MMT, modern monetary theory, whereby the central banks can create more money by purchasing the government debt, if I'm mistaken. So it does mean that the money supply can be created by creating more debts in the economy, so that it can make the economy more running, doctor. So do you have any views, doctors? Or is that relevant with our discussion in the context of money demand and supply?
We have to, every country, not only Malaysia, Indonesia, every country, they have to be very careful with printing money,
Yeah.
printing money to finance their spending. Because the fear of losing trust on this currency, if you do that uncontrollably, so your money will very easy depreciate. So we cannot simply printing money in that kind of way. Okay, can we go to, because I have a few questions. Let me get let's let go to the chat whether we have more questions. If no question, then maybe I can go back to my a few questions that I would like to ask students. How to go? How to go to chat?
You want to share your slide again, doctor?
Wait, I want to see chat whether we have any question from student, from how to check chat.
The chat. You can go to the right side, doctor. Like
Okay,
that, close to the left, the
okay.
red one.
All right, I got it. So no, so from this chat, no question. Okay, if no question, can you allow me for me to share my screen?
Yes, please, doctor.
Okay, so each, wait 1 moment. Where is it? Okay. Share. Not this one. Not this one. Try, not this slide. The other slide. How to get that slide? Wait. Stop share this one. Share the other one. One moment. I have a problem. This small okay, I got it now. Okay, this one. Okay. Yes, okay. All right, here. Now, my question to your student and also to my student. Maybe to my student also, because I don't think so. Maybe some of them, they still don't understand this. Where is it? This one. Okay, the second one. Okay, we know that in periods of high inflation, people are less likely to hold much money in hands for fear of loss in the purchasing power. So during high inflation, people are buying more goods, yeah, more asset, more goods, so that they can keep the value of money, yeah. So like buying property, yeah. So when inflation is increasing higher and higher, so this property value is also higher, so they don't lose any purchasing power. Okay, now the second one, an increase in inflation will increase the nominal interest rate. Why? The question is why? When inflation increase, why interest rate is also, it will increase also nominal interest rate. Why? Anyone? This is an exercise, yeah, for this money demand theory. Let's see your answer on chat, or if you want to say something, you can do this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe from my students, if you can answer these questions, I'll give you an additional marks then.
Okay. Dr. Dimas is going to give, um, to give marks, yeah, if
Yeah.
you give answer, regardless the answer is right or wrong, yeah. As long
Yes,
as you
yes,
speak, then you get marks,
right.
additional marks.
Yes.
Yeah.
People react with the incentive, doctors.
Uh,
Okay, please, student from UMY or from UM, please.
Anyone? Very long silence. The question is very clear, right? I think Su En would like to answer this. Hmm.
There's one student answer the question, doctors, in the chat box.
Yeah, let me see chat box. Because bank increase interest rate to compensate the depositor for the loss of their. Yeah, true. It's true. Rishan Rajan. Is my student, right?
Yes, your student.
Okay, this is one explanation. Second explanation. What is the second explanation? Yes, this is true. This is let's see, Faiz Ajhar. My answer from this statement that an increased inflation will increase nominal interest rate, reduce demand for more, reduce demand for money is not always true. The net effect depends on the relative strength. No. Not that kind of answer. No. Faiz Ajhar, the answer given by Rishan Rajan is okay, yeah. But not okay. Then Alvaizi When prices go up a lot, the interest rate you hear about is also go up. This is because people who lend money and those who invest it want to make sure you don't lose money value as prices. So when inflation, they ask for more interest. Okay, they ask for more interest to make up for the fact the money. Okay, this is similar like Rishan Raj. Yeah? Okay. Azvaija Paputunggan. Okay. Your answer is okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. So bank will offer nominal interest rate is bank is under the control. Is the under the control of banks, commercial banks. So they will set their interest rate. So they will, during high inflation, they will set higher nominal interest rate so that this compensate the lost value of money, the decreasing purchasing power of money during inflation, so that people will still deposit their money in banks. Because we know that during inflation it's good to buy, to spend money rather than to keep money, because money is losing its value. So it's good to buy goods, but then bank needs money. This is their activity. Without money they cannot run their business, so they need to have money. They need people to save their money in banks so that they can also move. They can give out loans to people. So in order to attract more people to deposit more money, keep money in the bank during inflation, they offer higher interest rate for people. Yes, Terry from Malaysia. Fisher formula stating, yes, Fisher formula. So remember Fisher formula that if expected prices increase, interest rate will increase. Yes, true. Okay, I will write the Fisher formula like this. Fisher formula. Yes, true. Fisher formula is okay. I cannot keep Fisher formula. I cannot press enter because it will send whatever I write. Fisher formula is R equal to I minus small I, and then expected plus expected inflation. This is just a guideline. You can always type in. You can type or Google what is Fisher equation. This just to guide you. So Fisher formula is nominal interest rate is equal to real interest rate plus expected inflation. So meaning when inflation is higher or expected inflation is higher, nominal interest rate is also increasing higher. Okay, now my question, the last question. Look at this slide. During periods of deflation, the cost of holding cash decreases and people tend to carry more cash. Why people carry more cash during deflation? Yeah, we know that cost of holding cash decreases. Okay, we know that cost of holding cash decreases. Opportunity cost of holding money is less now. So people hold more money now. But there are another explanation also why people carry more money now. Another explanation, economic explanation. What is this? This is one explanation. Then there is another explanation. Why? Why people keep much cash in their hand? Why? Maybe Dr. Dimas
Because the interest rate is the percentage of interest rate inflation is higher than the interest that the bank is providing. So it's better for them to spend the money now.
Sorry?
because the inflation rate is higher than the interest rate that the bank is providing to their.
No, during period of deflation, interest rate is low. Interest rate is not high. Deflation. This is not inflation. This is deflation. During deflation, interest rate is low. That is the cost of holding cash is low, decreases. Please don't mix up this, Terry. Terry, is Terry, are you?
Yes, madam. Yep.
So don't mix up this. Interest rate is not high. Interest rate is low here. So why people carry much money in hands?
Doctors, if I can clarify your questions here, you see that the deflation means the growth of goods is much more compared to the growth of money. So therefore, the deflation is taking place. So in other words, deflation here actually the goods much more valuable compared to the money. So in that sense, then the people may be much more prefer to hold cash because they can get more goods compared when they put the money in the banks, because in the period of deflation that I said to you before, that the goods is much more valuable compared to the money, because the price of good at that moment is very, very cheap, isn't it? So
yes,
that
the price
yeah.
is very cheap, but it doesn't explain that why people carry much money in hands. If people carry much money in hands, meaning they don't spend it. They still have in hands.
Oh, yeah, yeah. 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 Perhaps, doctors, if that's the conditions, why people try to hold more cash, but they don't spend, I guess it is because we can just relate with the business cycles. So maybe in the context of deflation here, the economy just started to increase, just finished from the inflation or crisis. So at the moment, then the people initiate to hold cash because they worry about the future of economy, because the cycle still may be uncertain at the moment. I guess that's perhaps in my perspective, doctors.
It can be accepted, but it can be accepted, but there is another explanation for this. And this happened in Japan in 1990s.
Oh, you mean that the lower of real interest rate?
Yeah, during deflation, interest rate is low. That's why the cost of holding cash is decreases. It's decreasing.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Okay, when let me try to explain this. Okay, during the period of deflation, okay, people would rather keep much money in hands. They just wait and see. Why? Because there is a tendency for prices to fall further and further and further. If they buy now, meaning they are buying at higher prices. So because of that, during deflation, more people keep money in their hands rather than spend it, because they fear that if they buy now, prices may fall more in the future, so they are buying at higher prices now. That is why during deflation, people tend to carry much cash in hands. That is an explanation. In the anticipations of this, because of this period of deflation. Okay? Okay, any, okay, any, or you want to to say something or anything or any other question?
I
No.
think enough, Prof, doctors. I
Okay,
guess.
enough, because you already 10. It's good to have this discussion now. Okay.
Yeah. Perhaps doctors, for the next meeting, if you don't mind, perhaps we just give the student case study before we have meeting.
Case
And
study.
then
Okay.
case study, and then let them to answer based on the groups. And the group is the combination between
Dr.
UMY
Dimas,
and yes.
I only have another topic to cover, open economy.
Okay, that's okay.
Open economy, because we finished money demand. I'm going to cover money supply. We have more to talk on money supply.
Okay.
And then we only have this open economy. Open
Okay.
economy will be 2 weeks. So maybe if you want case study, so how this case study work? Are they student from your side
Yeah.
work together, or how?
Yes, doctor.
How is
So
it?
maybe we can give them the case study with the topic of the open economy, and then let them combine the group between UMY and UM, and then during the meeting, let them to present and share their finding or their results based on the
Okay.
groups, doctors, and we give the comment, also question and others. If
How
you
do
don't
we
mind.
how do we assign this group? Because I have more students, or maybe not all involved. Maybe we pick up a few students to participate in this, because you only have
Yes.
16, right?
Yes. That's okay, doctor. Maybe you we just assign maybe certain groups, maybe 2, 3, 4 groups, and then from both sides, so they combine each other. There are some students that include in your groups, and vice versa. And then in the next meeting, they let them to present their finding, doctors, and we discuss together for sure before they share their thoughts. So we give them also some information or introductions on open economy, doctors.
Okay.
Right now, yeah. So they will have more participation from the students.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that. Open economy.
Yeah.
For
Sure.
open economy.
So next week, doctor. Next Wednesday night. Look like
next
today.
Wednesday. Too fast. Next Wednesday. Next Wednesday is too fast. Wait, let me check calendar. Check calendar. That Wednesday is too fast. What about 27? The other 2 weeks from now. Is it okay?
Yes.
27.
It's okay. It's okay, doctor. Yeah.
27.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we have 27. Is it okay, 27?
Is there not the holiday for our friends?
If we have Christmas, right? 25th.
Yes.
If it's very close to the holiday, maybe we can do it on the 28th. Thursday.
Yeah.
Then okay, we can read that. Okay, Dr. Dimas, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
For having this opportunity, collaboration.
Okay, doctors, thank you so much, and all the students, thank you so much for your participations. Apologize if there are some mistakes, and see you next week again. Dr. Zarina, thank you. Good evening.
Okay,
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Now we can say good night. We can say good night now. Okay, thank you all. Minta maaf ya jika ada silap dan salah. Okay. Alright. You can always ask question. You can get my email. Maybe I can share my email. Zarina Y. If you have questions, Zarina Y @um.edu.my. That maybe Dr. Dimas can share my email.
Yes, yes, doctor.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, Dr. Dimas.
Okay, thank you.
Anything on chats? Nothing, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think one chat box, doctor, here. So for all students here, you can fill up the form of evaluation. So if you see in the chat box, there's evaluation form for meeting today.
All student, for all student, yeah?
All students. So just for our evaluations. So I will share to Dr.
Okay.
Zarina in case that the student here cannot see. Yeah. Okay, thank you,
Okay.
doctor. Good night.
Okay, thank you. Good night. Thank you. Thank you all. Good
Thank
night.
you.